Hey to 3 people who watch my videos. I think my last video got like 7 views or something. I made a really interesting discovery the other day when I was like going through my old like art, which is if you've ever been there, if you've ever had an art account, you know exactly what I mean. There's something so horrific about putting your work into like the internet, because it's basically like an archive of everything terrible that you've ever done, and there's always just like one friend who never forgets that one time you drew yaoi and then posted it to the internet. Like, if you're an art student, we've all been there, we can all relate. It's whatever. The only thing I have to say is that I was never really into yaoi. Wasn't really into like the kinky fan fiction. Like, I was never really deep on the forums. I always just had my little toe in the water. We'll get to that another time, but oh my goodness, something I can never forgive myself for is I had a webcomic. Yeah. And I had this big like overarching plot line. I had these characters, like it was supposed to be deep, it was supposed to be funny, and like my friends would like, well, 2 of my friends that followed me, like they always used to reblog my shit. And I remember there was one that I posted to my Tumblr, and it was like, it was some joke about a donkey dick, but it was like Rick and Morty themed, and it got like, I think 150 reblogs. Like, it was a huge deal to me at the time. I don't know. So the comic basically revolved around 2 titular characters getting all invested again. No, not really. But it was about a girl called Esther and her goldfish named Helen, and the whole idea was Helen was supposed to be a boy fish, but I named it Helen because I thought it'd be really funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. But like, it was supposed to be this whole like joke about how like Esther's only friend was a goldfish, and Esther was kind of based on me because I didn't have many friends. And I wanted like to create a character that like I could kind of relate to, and so I could put all my frustrations into this like, yeah, comic. This is the first comic I ever made in regards to Esther and Helen. So it's Esther saying to her pet fish, if I'm still single by my 18th birthday, I might consider getting kicked. And then Helen says, why would you do that? And then Esther says, I'm very desperate. Now this, even for 2016, I want to say, this was very outdated. Like, I think everyone had stopped talking about kick in 2014. Like, and like, even so, like, it's just, where's the formula? Where's the comedic formula? Where's the like punch? I mean, I know the punchline is I'm very desperate, right? But like, where's the build up? I mean, it was my first comic, I can't really complain. I was also like 15, 16, so like, again. My main problem was that I was so lazy that I literally used to copy and paste each layer. Like, I had like, I guess it's kind of like normal, like you have your like keyframes, but I would like copy paste each layer 1, 2, 3, 4 and like change the eyes and the mouths, and that was it. Like, I was so fucking lazy. And the worst part is it's not even good. Like, it's just so messy. Like, you could tell that I was like, bare minimum effort was put in. And so, okay, second one I made. Why are you so mean to everyone? My parents are divorced. Yeah, this one, listen, I see what I was going for, right? But it was just like, my parents aren't divorced. I can't relate to this. If anything, like, I think, like, I had one friend who was like, her parents were divorced, and she was like super mean, well, not mean, but like sarcastic and like sassy. And so I think I kind of was, but like, it's just not funny. It's just not funny. I know plenty of people with divorced parents who like are lovely, interesting people, but like there's no punchline, there's no flavor. Okay, you know what? If I try and criticize myself too much, it's just not gonna be a fun video because there's just so much to criticize. Like the art by itself and the freaking the purple hairlight. Can't be too critical. I was 15/16 when I wrote this. I can't exactly remember my age. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna say is, honestly, Helen, he's a good friend. Like, props to me for writing him to be so supportive, because honestly, there's so many like fucked up cartoon relationships out there. May as well make mine a little bit more, yeah, this is my friend, I'm gonna back her up. Yeah, okay. This is so #I'm 14 and this is deep. Like, shit, Helen, did you see that? I just smiled for the first time. That's so... See, the thing is, Esther, she just doesn't... Like, no one gets her, right? Because, like, I didn't get to the point where, like, I started to introduce backstory. No one at school understood her, and she was edgy and mean, and she did drugs. Didn't care about what the people who didn't like her thought about her, because in my head, it'd be cooler if you, like, partied and, like, did drugs and, like, did all, like, the naughty stuff and had no friends, because then it's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense why you'd have no friends if you're like, you've got like issues, you know? Backstory was she had like a drinking problem and she had like a drug problem, you know, so she found it hard to get close to people. When I was 15/16, I found it hard to get close to people because I was a fucking twat and nobody really wanted to hang out with me. Okay, this is when things start to like get a bit more sophisticated. I say that very lightly. I think hetero butt sex is the dumbest thing. Why eat your soup with a fork if you have a spoon? Disgusting yet poignant. I like that. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, that is one of the better ones. I feel like I see what I was trying to do, like the smartassery of Esther's like quick-wittedness. Like, I feel like it's coming through in this one. Why eat your soup with a fork if you have a spoon? That's very true. I never understood hetero butt sex. It doesn't really make sense to me, especially if you're the girl. Like, I mean, I kind of get it if you're a guy, but even so, it's just unnecessary, you know? But then again, like, everyone says you gotta do anal once, you know? I don't know. But yeah. So this is the mum character. The mum character in these comics. Okay, if this is my mum, and this is Esther's mum, they are the same. This mother character is literally just the quietly supportive mother that my mother is. So, introduce Esther's brother, Clyde. Clyde, I remember writing him to be like kind of the like good brother, like, so she's a naughty sister and he's like the good, like very square brother. Alright, so, okay Clyde, think of our relationship as a right-sided triangle. Although I consider you to be the opposite to my adjacent, thanks to the hypotenuse we are bound together by the fundamental rules of geometry, or in our case, legal matters and family gatherings. Do you want me to help you with your homework or not? But like, he's kind of the voice of reason, you know what I mean? He's less bitter about the divorce, I think. So this is when we kind of get a taste of Esther's bad girl side. Hey babe, fancy a drink? Has it been drugged? Wow, I have thoughts. I mean, this is a little bit problematic because that's not really how it works. 19-year-old me has a very different, I don't know, 19-year-old me has been burnt a lot more than like 16-year-old me had been. Whatever. I mean, it kind of shows what like I was trying to go for. Like, she doesn't care, like she has no respect for herself. Is it funny? No. 19-year-old me kind of goes, okay, I think I'm discovering some shit about myself. There's a lot about her parents' marriage. Like, there's way too much. Sometimes I wonder how my parents got together in the first place. He called it roleplay and she called it love. What the fuck is that? Unresolved feelings. Are you okay? Is it possible to Brexit from family members? I think so, but I wouldn't rule it out as an option. Bro, what did Clyde... Okay, Clyde is my favourite character because he just... his face... First of all, love it. And he just is such an unproblematic king. Like, he doesn't do anything. He barely has any lines. And when he does show up, he's just trying to be supportive, and his sister is just such a cunt. I mean, Helen's a yes man. What can be said? This one confuses me because I don't really know what my thought process was. Wow, he looks just like Clyde. They've got the same nose and everything. In my head it was like, oh yes, a live action Esther and Helen, Macaulay Culkin. Netflix, if you wanna. I'm always open for talks. Are you high? I'm only bullying you because I'm threatened by your superiority. What did you take this time? I love you. I'll call an ambulance. That's true. I mean, I think the only time I've ever said I love you to my brother was when I was very intoxicated. Like, Clyde's the best character in all of this. He's just such an unproblematic king. Like, he doesn't do shit, and he's like, he just spits absolute facts. Like, he's a cool dude. Is where the love interest gets introduced now. So I gave her a love interest, but there isn't a whole lot of development between them. It's not like a lot of build up. But yeah, so no reception. I hate this town. I can't wait until, oh my god, please no. Fuck me, 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 fuck me. This is literally just my brain all the time. It's just like, hot guy, fuck me. I should say something. No. This is my one opportunity. I have to make an impression. Nice shirt, douchebag. That's me. Thanks, I bought it in Paris last year. It's designer. Seriously? Fuck no, it's from Kmart or some shit. That's a good shirt. I love polo shirts on men. Playing Angry Birds? Fuck off, jerk. Oh no, don't tell me that's where I left it. No! I'm like sad. Why am I sad? That's the end. I got like invested over these characters and then it just ends. And that's just it. Because I never wrote the finale, I thought I'd do that now. So here it is, the final comic. The two friends are just chilling casually one day when Clyde comes up to them and tells them that he's invented time travel. And he's like, y'all wanna like go into the future with me? And they're like, well, we got nothing better to do, so let's just fucking do it. And so they get into the time traveling machine and they go about 15 years into the future, and Clyde's done pretty well for himself. He's living in a nice house, he drives a nice car, he has lots of money and killer facial hair. And he goes up to Esther and he's like, hey man, like things turned out pretty well for me, like how are you doing? And she smelt really bad and lived in a box and still had the same drinking problem that she had in her tweens. And yeah, things could be better, but you know, she still had a quick wit and an edgy sense of humour. And then she remembered back to her teen years where she pushed people away, and instead of letting people in, she was constantly rude and sarcastic, and maybe if she had let someone in, she wouldn't be so alone right now. Maybe she wouldn't have a drinking problem. And then it suddenly occurred to her, where was Helen? Helen was sleeping with the fishes. A fish breeder had discovered Helen and decided to breed him for thousands and thousands of dollars, which worked fine for Helen because A, he got a much bigger tank, and B, he was surrounded by the most beautiful fish in the entire world. So for him, things were pretty good.
Now do you understand? Clyde said smugly. Esther paused for a little while. She couldn't let Clyde win. Just because she knew he was right didn't mean that she was going to change her ways. And after all, her edgy humour was her only personality trait. The box wasn't so bad, and the alcohol kept her warm at night, so she was pretty happy. Everyone lived happily ever after.